right, introducing first, please. Nice big round of sound and warm welcome. The voice of Makima. Make some noise for Suzie Yeung. Make some noise for the voice of Power, Sarah Wiedenheft. The voice of Aki. Make some noise for Reagan Murdock. And the voice of Denji, Chainsaw Man. Make some noise for Ryan, Colt, Levy. One more time for the cast of Chainsaw Man.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. I was not expecting to be called up that soon.
You know, I didn't know what order I wanted to do it in, but I couldn't see where you were back there, so I did my best. You hustled to get up here.
We can't just start this without us saying hi to each other, buddy.
I know. What is this? You know him too?
It's the Wolf Pack.
It's
the Wolf Pack.
It's so sweet.
No, it's good to see you all again. It really is. Welcome to Raleigh. Welcome. Thanks for coming out, of course. I mean, we've had a chance to speak at length in the past, but it's always nice to get to see how you guys are doing, catch up with you. So why don't we start there? How have you been since the last time we've seen each other, Suzie?
Tired. I got in at 3 a.m. this morning, so I'm a little bit loopy.
Yeah, where are you coming from? And yeah, tell us, please.
Oh, somebody gave away my plane ticket and then locked me out, so I was like, oh, I guess I'm coming here later.
Wow.
But it's okay, I'm here now. Hello.
We're happy to have you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah, what have you been up to?
Oh, no good.
No good?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more fun that way.
We knew. We've been new.
Yeah.
We've been knowing.
But it's doing great. Got some boba tea. That's usually my thing. I try to find it in a convention. Normally it's somewhere.
That's a good lead.
That I have a skill.
Normally it's somewhere.
I have a certain set of skills.
Find boba.
I can smell boba tea.
You can smell boba.
Remember the last convention? I literally stopped and I was like, I smell boba. And I like the wolf cartoon, like with the pie smell. I started like being wafted off and like took like crazy turns, and I found a maid cafe. I'm like, they're closed. But I know where you are.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Number 3 will surprise you.
That's your origin story. Your villain origin story is the boba tea was closed.
Terrible. The pain
Reagan, how you been?
I've been great. I've been a blind samurai for a little while. That was awesome. Yeah, that was a
Blind samurai?
Blind samurai. Okay.
Hell's Paradise. That was a. Yeah, we're going. Yeah, we're going. How about Alejandro and Marissa? They are doing amazing. That's about it.
All righty then. And last but not least, Ryan. What's up, man? Wolfpack in the building.
Man, it's good to see you. It's so good to see all of you guys. Oh my gosh, you are a beautiful audience. And I've gotten to interact with a bunch of you guys over the last 2 days. My heart is so full. I'm really freaking good. I've been doing a bunch of really cool projects lately. Been traveling a bunch, getting to meet so many of you. Working on a comic book with a buddy of mine. I am not an artist. I do not have that skill, but I'm writing one with a friend that we've been working on for a while. And every time I get little gaps from traveling and stuff, we hack away at it, and eventually I'm really excited to share that with you guys, because I've never created a story and put it out in the world before, and I'm super nervous and full of anxiety, but I'm also having a blast with it. So that's what's new.
We look forward to seeing that. That's amazing. It's always great when you get to create and with your friends to create something from your heart. I mean, is this something that you came up with on your own, or where's the concept of this?
It's an idea that I came up with because I'm a big comic book nerd, and I came up with it at this point almost 5 or 6 years ago, and I started to work on it then, but I was still a musician at that point. This was before I was voice acting, and it sounds like I'm like a crazy person, right? I was like, then I was in the circus, and so many different weird
Again,
jobs.
we already knew this about you, Ryan.
That's fair. That's fair.
We done knew.
Yeah, so I had this idea. I worked on it for a bit, and then I just felt like I I didn't know the craft well enough to give it what it needed, so I kind of put it on a shelf and allowed myself to study more, you know, whether it's writing comics, the craft of storytelling, all those different things. And then in the pandemic, I ended up doing this really cool, like, online Zoom role-play thing, like a one-shot kind of thing. And I've never done any kind of D&D stuff, so it was just super fun to get to like play, and yeah. And the guy who DM'd it and put it all together is this incredible writer, and we ended up just kind of becoming good buddies. And eventually, I had seen some of his work and was like, oh, he's really good, and like he knows what he's doing with the structure and all of that. And I just kind of pitched him this idea and was like, honestly, I've come from being in bands all my life, and this stuff is so collaborative. Like, I think I prefer doing stuff with people than alone. Yeah. And it's been so much more special. It's opened it up in so many ways, sharing it with someone else who has different perspectives and ideas, and it's only gotten better. So it's really cool.
Yeah. It is great to get back together, and now that the band is back together, finally, you know, Susie's here. Do you guys have any, you know, madness planned for the weekend?
There's always madness planned.
Of course.
Madness is constant. We're just, honestly, it's just so nice to be with you guys. Like, we don't all get to see each other. Suzie and I are in Los Angeles. These two are in Texas, and even when we're in the same state, we barely get to see each other, just based on work or travel or whatever. So we are very much a real family. We adore each other. We have our group DMs where we're constantly sending each other like ridiculous memes or funny stories or things completely. I sent you guys a video the other day of this woman at a dance class, this pregnant woman getting like spun around by her instructor, and then it just super cuts to like the baby inside and just like spinning around. And it just made me laugh so hard. And so that's the kind of stuff we we do in our off time with each other.
Speak for
Anyone
yourself.
else?
You send me
Reagan and
crazier
I
stuff.
went to go see the Oppen Barbie Meyer, whatever the heck it was.
Oppen
Two in one
Barbie
day.
Meyer. What did you say?
Yeah,
Close enough.
Barbieheimer.
There it is.
So what does that mean?
And yes, there were coordinated outfits.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you
okay.
were Barbie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, Barbie.
He had this insane shirt with flamingos on it. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
it was hideous.
I loved it.
So you guys get together, and do you ever get together to go see movies?
We haven't got to see a movie yet, but we really need to.
We need to, especially with Denji and Makima. Like,
I
come
know,
on.
except I'm almost worried.
Spoilers.
We actually literally just got together, and I made Suzie some of the coffee that I make like
It
a
was quite
crazy
good.
junkie myself. So yeah.
It was quite good. And in Boston, we're gonna have udon, right?
Oh, we're gonna have udon. We're gonna have. I'm really
Lobster
excited about
rolls.
lobster rolls.
so good.
Yeah, we're
Gross.
yeah.
Freaking love
We
udon.
a lot of our life is food motivated. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
We're in agreement here.
Yeah. 100%.
Super toast.
There is nothing else.
There's
Super
nothing else
toast.
in life except food. Only food.
Hot take, but food is good.
Yeah.
Whoa. Do you want to get canceled?
Oh
Yes.
my God, the Colt Benny in front of me has the like a burger, and I really want a
Yes.
burger right now.
Oh,
Oh wow, there is a burger in front of us. It makes me hungry.
Yeah, but if she tries to give it to you, she's gonna. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Just gonna like drop it all.
the Colt Benny way.
Human.
Oh,
Pass me the burger.
Well, we.
Did I stutter?
Catch it with your teeth.
She means it. Pass that burger.
she's gonna drop it.
And it squeaks.
It squeaked! Wait, give everybody on the mic. It's adorable. That is the cutest little burger.
Wait, can I make a long sound?
He's like, I was once a cow.
Coincidentally,
It bounces too.
That was
This
awesome.
is the all-purpose burger.
Amazing.
It's a panel and a game show and a game all at the same time. This is amazing. You guys are so much fun. I would love to hang out with you outside of this, but you know,
Please.
I don't know if I would fit in with you guys because you're so.
Because you're way cooler looking than
Oh,
us.
Yeah.
stop! Keep
He
going.
thinks he's
No,
cooler
stop.
than us.
No, I tried to look cool, but I knew you guys were gonna step it up. You always got your shades on, looking fresh. I mean, you know, Reagan's always got the cool shirts on. You know what I mean? You were dressed up in full character last time we met.
Me?
I believe so. Yes.
Maybe.
You went all out.
Oh, did I have the horns and
it's
everything?
possible.
Yes.
That sounds
And
like
the
me.
eyes, and it was really intense. It was really cool. And Suzie was sleeping.
Well, I wasn't here.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. All right, so, I mean, obviously we're here to speak about one of the most amazing shows in the history of shows, Chainsaw Man. And I guess I could start on your end, and I know there's something that we've touched base on before, but this was like your dream character to voice Denji. Can we get into that a little bit, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I apologize to anybody who's heard this. If anybody has, I'll try and be brief. 24 minutes later. Yeah.
5 hours later.
Yeah. Exactly. They're over it. I found the manga in 2020 during the pandemic, and I just fell deeply in love with it and really needed something to like pull me out of the craziness, and it did. And I kind of said to myself, which you never do because actors never get to choose what they audition for, I would love to read for Denji because this is the first time I've ever connected with something like that. This is like my dream role. And then about a year later, the anime gets announced and everyone in the world suddenly wants to be a part of it. And I'm like, well, there's no way I'm even going to be remotely considered. And in August of last year, I went to another convention where I was a guest for some smaller stuff. Nobody really knew who I was. It was really nice and chill. And some people would come up to my table and be like, "Did you draw these?" And I was like, "I wish." And they flew in a bunch of people from MAPPA to have a panel about the season that was about to drop. And at this point, it was like 2 months away from coming out. So I was so sure it was already being recorded. The dub was probably even done. And they were like, gonna announce everybody soon. And that was the day the auditions went out. So I opened it up and I see that the sides for Denji are like, immediately I know what page they're from, because I've read this thing so many times over because I am a total nerd for it. And I just figured this is my one chance to play him regardless of getting the opportunity otherwise. I get to sit in this for 5 minutes. So I gave him my heart, and it's the way that I always kind of heard him and felt him as I read it. And then 2 weeks later, I got a call back, and then after that, I got an actual text from our voice director, Mike McFarlane, and he's like, "Hey, dude, do you have a second to talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And then he starts immediately calling me, and I'm like, well, that's weird. So I pick up, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, man." And Mike can be very, like, chill and unassuming. So he was like, "Hey, yeah, you know, just doing really well." And he comes to visit Los Angeles every now and then. So I thought, oh, maybe he's just happens to be in town and wants to get coffee or something. And he's like, "Yeah, you know, I been doing all this stuff and just went through all these crazy auditions, and yeah, I'm gonna be directing Chainsaw Man." And I'm like, "Dude, that's so cool! Oh my God!" Freaking out, not processing that he shouldn't be telling me this if I'm not working on it. So I'm like, just kind of letting him talk, and I'm just hyped for him. I'm like, my buddy's gonna do this thing, and he's the perfect choice. He's gonna kill it. Why is he telling me this? And my chest is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And I'm like, thankfully I was in my apartment, so I'm like, "Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, totally." And he's like, "Yeah." So, and he can feel me like not being able to process any of this.
It sounded like
How
Denji.
does what? Yeah, exactly. Just total, just nothing brain. And he's like, "Yeah, so, you know, you're gonna be our Denji." And I just kind of went into this like fog. Like everything just went blank. I didn't know what to think or feel, and my brain exploded, and I may have dropped to my knees. I don't remember for sure. And thanked him profusely. He told me who else was going to be in the cast, and I could not have been happier. And then I called my mom.
As you should, absolutely. What a wonderful story of success and just dreams coming true, truthfully. Let's go through the line and just talk about your experience as your characters. Reagan, let's talk about Aki.
Oh, yeah, sure. I love talking about Aki. Yeah, gosh, do you want to just talk about him as a character, or like the casting process? Or
Yeah,
like...
I'd like to know about in a similar realm to
His
to
laundry
Ryan.
routine.
Oh,
Yeah.
laundry routine.
How
we
does
need
he
to know
wash
about
his
that.
socks? Let's talk about that.
He separates lights from darks. Yeah, like Ryan, I was 100% convinced I was not going to get it. But what I was convinced of was if I did a good enough job on it, maybe I'll throw you a bit part down the line, right? And so I'm like, well, I might as well read a little bit of the manga, and if I get context for these lines, maybe that'll make them pop a little bit better, and I could be better considered. And so I start reading it, and then I start reading some more. And then I keep reading, and I'm devouring it. And it gets to the part where, spoilers, when Himeno and Aki are going like out on patrol for the first time. Himeno gets slapped, and then Aki sticks gum on the girl's clothes. And that was the moment I was like, oh, I need to be that boy. Because he is as vindictive and cringy as I am. So, I also actually got a call back for Denji, which I was very surprised about. But then, a couple weeks later, I got an email from Mike. It was in the middle of a shift at my day job. And so he's like, hey, I have a casting opportunity for you. And I was like, okay, great. Because I'd only worked with him like very briefly doing bit parts in One Piece. And I was like, maybe there's something in One Piece coming up that he wants to meet me for.
Second piece?
A second piece, yeah. And so I, find time at, a little break time at, work. And I go into a corner and he calls me and he's like, hey, so just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be directing this show Chainsaw Man. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'm pretty sure you could hear me vibrating like through the phone.
At this point, he was used to it.
At this point, he's used to it, yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me who else was in the cast, but he did tell me that we would like you to be our Aki. And I'm like, great, that sounds awesome. Yeah. So, of course, I try to stay as, calm as I possibly can during the call because, you don't want to sound too much like a fanboy when you're talking to one of the great directors of anime English dubs of all time. But as soon as the call was over, I walked straight out to my car. I looked to make sure nobody's looking, and I start screaming at the top of my lungs. I believe my exact words were, yeah, I'm going to be in Chainsaw Man, baby.
That's a perfect quote for a T-shirt.
And then about, what, a day later?
It was a couple days later, yeah, because I was, they, after, we were told, we were cast as, they were told us they wanted us to be at New York Comic Con for the premiere, and that scared the absolute bejesus out of me. I was terrified because I am a very homebody, introverted, and not goes outside a lot person. See, my people. But then I was able to get away for a weekend with my grandpa and spend some time with him. That was, thankfully, it was already planned at that time. And then I get a Twitter DM from this guy in the middle of it. And it's just a bunch of clap emojis. And I'm just like, does he know?
So for those who don't know, whenever you book a project in any form of entertainment, but especially with what we do, there's something called an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, which means until you're allowed to talk about the thing, you do not talk about the thing. And it can mean you get fired. It can mean all kinds of things before you even start. So he's terrified because he has no idea what he should or shouldn't say in this DM. And he's like, what, you were like?
Oh, I was just as vague as possible.
Yeah.
Just thank you very much. Yes, da 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 da. But then thank you for choosing Chick-fil-A. Whatever. And so. Pay attention.
That was going to be a real spit take.
Pay attention. The nearest exit may be behind you. And he's just like, He's just waiting for me to put the pieces together, and then I was just like, wait a minute, how do you know? Wait, that can only mean one thing. Oh my God, dude! Started freaking out. So took it very well.
And there it is, the origin story of Aki. All right, let's talk about you, Sarah. Let's talk about power.
This is one of my favorite stories.
Chainsaw Man. So when I first heard that name, I thought it was an isekai, and I wasn't sure how to feel about it. But so then
Fell asleep and woke up as a chainsaw in the Home Depot.
Yeah, it could be a number of things. I'm like, what is this? So my partner has like the whole collection. So I was skimming through, trying to find Makima and Power for the auditions. I was like, Makima's not gonna happen, but I'm still gonna give it a try because they just don't normally have me go for the cool, collective, sexy, and that's all right. I'm okay with that.
You're cool, collective, and sexy.
Makima, stop. Whew.
Give her a minute.
It's getting hot in here. What's
Sorry.
going on?
I think the caffeine's
Take a sip of the boba.
what do they put in this boba? I didn't really read the manga, and I found bits and pieces of like where power showed up. Turns out like it's really hard to world build with just that little information. So, but the parts that I saw her in, I was like, she seems really crazy. And if you heard my audition, you probably would be like, oh my god, because if you can believe it, I read her even more chaotic than she is. It was like sporadic. I was just like, I hate humans. And I hate Devil too! You know, I was like, I don't know, let's go all over the place.
Yeah, all the levels.
Who knows? And I think I that's like probably one of the first auditions where I did several takes on it too, because I wasn't sure where to go with her. And then I listened to the trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm doing all right. Let's just put it out there. I don't want to see it again. I can't spend any more time on this. And I wasn't expecting anything because like I knew like thousands of people were going to be auditioning for this, both LA and Dallas, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what happens with that. And then I ended up having a one-piece session with Mike. I live in Dallas, so I go straight into Crunchyroll. And he's like, we have a little time to talk after we're done. I'm like, okay. And then we go, and I'm like, okay, goodbye. He's like, oh, well, I reserved us a conference room. I was like, what? What? And we start walking down the hallway, and it's like really, really excruciatingly long of a hallway. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I say? Did I do something to upset him? He got a conference room to talk to me about something. Oh my God, what could I have done? Oh no. And we go in, and this is like literally the smallest conference room
It's
they
a
have
broom
there.
closet.
There's
He's like,
yes.
shh.
It's like 2 people can fit in there, and I'm literally like, I come in and there's like a chair just there. I'm like,
Is that mine? Yeah.
and he like turns around and he doesn't even sit. He goes like, so this doesn't leave this room.
Oh my God, he does
was
it
like,
that way? That's
What did I do? He's like, you are Power and Chainsaw Man. I was like, really? He's serious? He's like, yeah.
That's such a
Yes,
Mike
you are.
response. Yeah.
I was like, can I know who the rest is? Who's the rest of the cast? And he's like, I only tell it to people who ask. And then he tells me, I was like, no way. Oh, I was so excited. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm so excited. Okay, cool. And then we leave, and I go down that excruciatingly long hallway, and I'm like picking up my step a little bit. And I get to the elevator. No one's in there. And I'm like, the doors close. I'm Power! And the doors open.
Demure again. Yes.
I'm sure they have
Makima.
they have the footage.
I
Of
hope
that
they have that
somewhere.
footage somewhere.
First it was cameras and I did not think about that part.
Oh my God, that's an amazing story. Amazing.
Quick fun little tidbit. So when we were recording the dub for the trailer, we still hadn't been announced yet, and so to keep the secret safe in Crunchyroll, so Mike had in the script, there's always the character names and the actor names next to it, and so instead of our names, he put none of your business.
I was business. It's like, and I reported to the group after I did. I'm like, I took care of business.
Yes.
A little inside.
They're like, what?
The ones who got it.
Exactly.
The message.
Real ones knew.
All right, Suzie, let's talk about.
Oh yeah, I'll try to keep this brief since I want to get through.
Yes,
all
we
your
want to get some
beautiful
questions, but let's talk about Makima.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I didn't really know about Chainsaw Man prior, but I had seen a ton of fan art on Twitter, especially of Makima and Power. So I was like, they seem very popular. Okay. So when I got the sides, I was like, oh, it's them. And interestingly enough, I spent more time on Power's audition because I was like, this seems more like a tough nut to crack.
You are correct.
Whereas with Makima, I actually did just 2 takes, and that was it.
Wow.
And I didn't think about it any further because I was like, I don't know. Just like everybody else, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get in. There's like thousands of auditions. I'm just going to send in and forget. I'm not going to really think about it.
Wow, that really is a power move, though. You only did it in 2 takes, and they were like, "Ooh."
Well, because I was like, this is what I can interpret from the character, and if he likes it, then he likes it. So fast forward to I don't know how much longer later, but Mike DMs me on Twitter, and he never DMs me on Twitter, so I'm like, this can only mean one thing. And he's like, hey, can I give you a call? I was like, this can only mean one thing.
This can also only mean one thing.
I was like, yeah, sure. So he gives me a call. And then he drops the news that I'm Makima, and I was like trying to like keep in control and everything. But I was like obviously just as nervous as you guys were. So I was like, yeah, cool. Who's the rest of the cast? Just curious. And he told me, and I was so happy. It was like the 3 of you, and I love you guys.
We love you.
No, it's true. You guys have such a great chemistry together. It really works, and you could tell that like the friendships are real. And I bet that adds to the characters and
so
how
much.
you know what I mean. The chemistry between you guys definitely adds to the way it portrays on screen.
When you know that everyone else cares as much and is also looking out for you as much as they are themselves, like nobody in this cast, even in the rest of the cast, is like selfishly trying to be like, this is my time to shine. It is so much about how do we lift each other up in the scenes and outside of the work and just be there for each other. It's truly the best crew and project all-around experience I've ever had. So it's a dream come true.
I honestly think because like everyone understands how big this is, like everyone understood. They're like, I'm gonna give this 150% because this is
to the thing,
that.
not for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nah, I think
So-
I put in 5,000.
Yes. It's true.
Well, it definitely shows, and we all love the show. And with that said, on behalf of all the fans here, let's go ahead and turn things over to the fans and
Thank you
rapid
for
fire
waiting.
as many questions as we can. Keep it 1 question per person, please. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
I am Matthew Horvath.
Hey, Matthew.
We're back. Hello.
My question is, what is Kobani's contracted devil?
Well, we don't know.
We don't
so
know
my
yet.
guess,
Whichever one Zenitsu has.
So the fortune devil?
Just pass out and then competence. That's the one.
The competence devil?
The competence devil, yeah.
I always
That's
thought
a
it was the
scary
fortune
one.
devil.
The what?
Because the fortune devil, her life sucks so much and is so unlucky, but the moment the chips are down, she wins.
you know what? That's a really good call. I like
That's
that.
a
She
good-
just
I like
keeps
that.
somehow lucking through so she can live her unlucky life.
That is so. It's so true. I'm stealing your answer then.
Great. Thank you so much for your question. All right. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Michelle. Nice to meet y'all.
Hello.
Huge fan. My question is for Ryan. However, everybody could chime in. Without spoiling it, you remember that scene of Denji and
Real vague here. Yeah.
and the blah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it.
Is
for
everybody here
anybody.
caught up with at least the first season?
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that? How did you feel? What did you think?
When someone loses their lunch and it's passed along my way?
Yeah, and it's with another person.
Yes.
What do you?
Denji's been through a lot, and I knew coming up we were going to be working on that scene, so I knew that it was going to be pretty gross and traumatic. I think the thing that we focused on when doing it was in a lot of ways, you could play that for jokes. You know, like you can use this and be like, isn't this messed up and funny? But I think we really just wanted to highlight, like, isn't this tragic and sad? And this poor kid just can't get a win. So it was really about making it try and just trying to find that balance of making it feel real for such an insane moment. But I was prepared
Now,
for
Sarah.
as much as I could.
You were prepared? Okay.
Sarah.
Sorry, I'm losing
Now,
it.
Sarah.
Sarah. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Jamie. I just want to say real quick to all of y'all who has been a part of Chainsaw Man, you guys are amazing. You guys are talented, and thank you for making these characters come to life with your voices. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
Thank you. My question is for all of you guys, actually. If Chainsaw Man was made into a live-action movie, who would you want to be the director of? I personally think Quentin Tarantino, he needs to get onto this. That would be a perfect live-action movie.
That's a really good
agree.
choice. Since you're saying Tarantino, I'm gonna say Guillermo del Toro.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Robert Rodriguez.
Wow, I have no insight into this. Who's the guy who does Transformers?
Steven Spielberg.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
You want Michael Bay?
Stanley Kubrick.
I
Martin
have to go what
Scorsese.
Ryan says. Michael Bay.
Whenever there's a film question, just whatever Ryan said.
Whatever Ryan said. Any intelligent question.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
You look amazing,
You
too.
do, seriously.
I love your costume.
Oh my gosh.
I love Power, so I was like, yay.
Thank you, Pally.
I love you more.
Wow. All right. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
Oh,
question.
God, they're multiplying.
All right. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Zoe, and I was wondering for the scenes where you know that the audience is going to get secondhand embarrassment, how does it feel to be recording those, and how many times did it take you to film it?
I love doing those scenes. There's something, I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. There's a real trust fall with the people that we get to share this with, where, like, this job, no matter what, in order to do it to the best of your ability, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open to be ugly and silly and crazy looking in front of total strangers sometimes. And thankfully with this, it's like being with family. So it's easier to really just kind of like let all that out. And there's something really fun about tapping into like these really like intimate personal experiences that so many people have understandings of in their own way. And I think there's something important about connecting with characters in that way so that you understand it's not just an individual's experience, that so many of us feel similar things. And in a weird way, it helps kind of bring us all more together and less judgmental and more understanding. At least that's my hope.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Hi, step on up. What's your name? What's your
Listen,
question?
if we got to fight, my dude.
Are we going to have a problem?
Uh-oh. Security.
Who's your favorite devil or otherwise villain throughout the entire Chainsaw Man?
Oof. First off, I love that the teeth are moving as you talk. That is so cool. Give it up for this. This is amazing. I mean, it's the cliche answer for me, but my favorite devil, he hasn't been seen yet, but he's been spoken about in the manga. It's the Coffee Devil. I want to hang with him real bad.
I am really big on the Future Devil. I really love characters who just do not give a crap. Just always love those.
Oh, I was gonna say that. Future
also
Devil.
say
He's really fun. He's just having a
Darkness,
good
for sure.
time.
I don't know without spoiling that hasn't showed up in the anime, because a lot of my favorites are later on. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good answer.
You look freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gosh, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your question.
Look at the etiquette. He knows how to move his head so he doesn't whack people. I love it. I love it.
So smart.
Dedication.
All right. Hi.
Hello, my name is Tav. My question is for all of you. What's your favorite line from your character?
I rotate everywhere. Like, it just depends on my mood. Let's see. Today, I'm thinking of ways to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Love that. Things like no don't come out of my dogs.
It changes every day, but today, she's more like the bullshit devil. I love your tears, by the way. The painted on is perfect.
No one could account for how stupid they are.
Thank you.
Love it. Love the dynamic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Michaela, but my question is, how did your character change your life for the better?
In many, many ways. Obviously, this is a completely insane, surreal experience that I never imagined would be part of my life. The fact that it's as big as it's become has afforded us so much of a different experience than what we were doing before. I mean, from the beginning, when I found it in the pandemic, I was in a really low mental place, and I was struggling with enjoying reading anything or watching anything. The only stuff I could enjoy was playing a video game every now and then, because it was like I was interacting with it. But we were all stuck in our homes and just going stir crazy. And when I found this manga, I don't say it lightly, it saved me. It saved my soul, it saved my heart, it pulled me out of all of the noise that the world was kind of dropping on all of us, and that was the first step of just feeling less alone and feeling so connected. And I, at the time, was living in a Denji-like shack scenario, a tiny little spot that was like just like survival place. And I just remember every time I would look at the first volume, like, resilience. If he can make it to another day, so can I. And then all of this.
Very good. It really helped me process some things. In particular, I remember like one scene was the scene where Aki and Himeno meet for the first time in the graveyard. And when I was, digging into that in the manga, and especially when I was, recording it, I was thinking of myself at like kind of my lowest point of the, what's the point of going on, basically. And what really struck me was actually Himeno's line to him, which was, "You'd best not die on me, Aki." And I was just thinking, holy crap, I wish somebody had said that to me. Thank you. Anyway, obviously, this is really easy for me to say in the position I am and with the blessings that I have had. And of course, if all it took to solve your problem was some schmuck getting up on stage and saying a few words to you, it wouldn't really be a problem now, would it? But I'm just going to say this to you all right now. You'd best not die on me.
Man. Sorry, I'm a little bit of... It doesn't take much. A lot like Ryan, I had a very similar experience with power. Like, I, for a long time, was running around lost and aimless, naked, tripping over things, and just searching for my next meal.
Covered in dirt.
Covered in dirt. I was disgusting.
Mutilating wild animals.
Yes, mutilating wild
everywhere.
animals. Just a true Viking at heart. No. No. I think the best thing that came out of this is that obviously I got to be a part of such an incredible story that I absolutely destroyed the manga once I actually read it, through properly. And I fell in love with Power too, and the fact that she has a really hard time expressing herself, but she does actually really enjoy closeness of others, and seeing her break through with a cat and really realizing that oh, it's nice for blood to be on the inside of some things. And I got to gain another family, and it's really nice. It feels almost like my own, because mine is also divorced and they're living in 2 separate places, and I get to visit them every once in a while, so this is nice. It's okay, I'm happy. We're all happy. You don't have to be sad for me. We're all in a really good place. We're a thriving family, all of us.
We are.
Thriving.
I love you guys.
We love you.
We love you.
This is a very mushy panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, going off the whole family theme, like, without this, I wouldn't have been introduced to, like, these guys. Well, I've known you guys, but, you know.
She
like,
took
in
over
this
my room.
capacity. I did. I was the roommate.
Yeah, the true roommate.
But then all of you, too, like, seeing how, like, cared for and loved this entire series is just, I've never experienced something like this before, and I feel so privileged and honored to be here with everybody. So
We're really lucky to have you guys.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
yes.
All right. Well, thank you so
for
much.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just telling you. Thanks for your question. You can
Of
continue.
course. Thank you. I'm happy that it saved your lives.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right.
What do you think your character's favorite cereal would be?
That's a great question. I love the combo cosplay you're doing. You're killing it.
Thank you.
You know what? I think we all know what would happen is Denji would be so excited by every cover of every cereal box that he would probably just mash them all together in one bowl. So it would be like Cocoa Krispies and Frosted Flakes and Frosted Mini Wheats and Cheerios and Fruit Loops because he doesn't know that there's really it would be total chaos. And then it would
Power
be like
would steal it from him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, at first I was going to give the answer like a Raisin Bran or like grape nuts or something. But then I remembered, for the ultimate toast, there's all of those different jams and jellies and toppings on them. Aki had all of those in his pantry. So, like, maybe he has a bit more of a sweet tooth than we imagined. So I'm going to go with Fruit Loops.
That's like his subtle thing. He doesn't want anyone to know.
He
That's
just
where
keeps
all of
it,
the color is.
He keeps it like under his floorboards in his bedroom. Just
He's
make
a bit of a fruity
no one
guy.
must know.
I have a hard time thinking other than her just like eating any and everything, but I don't know.
Something
the thing
with
I'm
meat
struggling
in it.
with, that's what I was struggling with it because all of it has corn in it, you know? She hates vegetables.
That's
Would she
true.
like corn though because it's sugary?
Well, I think she wouldn't, unless someone told her it was corn, I don't think she would know. So it would be one of those things where like maybe once she found out, she'd be like enraged because she'd be like, betrayal.
Maybe she would go for like the most insane thing, like the oops all marshmallows and Lucky Charms or something.
Yeah.
She's gross like that.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the most serious cereal ever.
That's a great sentence.
Wheat Thins.
I don't know.
Weetabix.
We need
Oh, yeah, the
something
shredded
with order.
wheat.
The shredded
Yeah.
wheats. She likes crushed things.
All righty
Thank you for
then.
your question.
Oh, Count Chocula for power.
Count Chocula.
Count Chocula.
Oh, yeah, that's good, actually. I was thinking about the vampire thing. I'm like, I don't know. Is it too much?
Right?
Nah.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Haley. I just want to say I love you guys. I've watched the anime and I really love it. My question is, what's your process when choosing the voice of your character?
Oh, okay.
The panic on your face. The sheer panic on your face. And I was like, hand it to you. You're like,
I like everybody's necks like almost snapped looking at me. My process is okay. So when I realized that Power is like really like the annoying child, I was like, okay, I know just what to do because I have 30 years of experience of being the annoying little sister, and I have an older brother. So I bring that energy in with her, and I make sure there's a little bit of gremlin-y inside of it. So it's normally my natural voice, but it's just a little bit more gritty, so I can be like, dig the knife in, salt on the wounds, yeah. And then I also keep in mind that most of the time she's just trying to have a good time and she thrives off the suffering of others, and unless it's herself, you know, obviously. So yeah, that's just about it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, for the audition, I think I only went in with a couple takes, but it was a very calm and controlled feeling. Like I didn't make too many waves with it, but just enough where it sounds.
You look at the audio file and it's just a straight line.
It's literally just a straight line. It's like ASMR, basically.
Very controlled, if you will.
Yes.
No. Basically, I thought, this guy is a teenager who basically thinks his life is in a Akira Kurosawa movie. There's literally the part where the Devil Hunters from Kyoto say you're acting like a character in a manga. So I was thinking, just what does a kid who is trying to be a fictional character who was traumatized at an early age and picked up smoking as an early habit? What does that sound like? And it is probably not going to be super expressive either. So he just get, monotone, a little scratchy, and takes himself way too seriously there. There it is.
For me, there were kind of like levels to it because Denji starts in one place and kind of progresses with even just his energy. So at first, you see those first few pages and it's, he is at his lowest point emotionally, financially, in every way possible. No education, no affection. Literally missing very vital organs. So to me, it was like this crumpled piece of paper that was just like so discarded and disheveled and crunchy, but also incredibly soft on the inside and super layered and really like has like unconditional love, almost like a dog would. And all of these layers that were strong and hopeful and full of humor, even in the face of the worst life. So you take that, and then as he gets taken out into the real world and he's kind of learning to find his confidence, there's a sharpness that kicks in, there's a brashness that kicks in, and then for Chainsaw Man, so much of it is just that unhinged catharsis, because so much of it is freedom for the first time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and unfortunately, that was our last question. I apologize to everybody waiting. I know there's so many. I want to let Power speak, but we have to keep the show moving right along. If you did not get a chance to answer your question, please go visit them. They'll be down at their tables all weekend long.